Welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave, and happy Tuesday to everyone out there in cryptocurrency land. As always, I want to be wishing you the happiest of happy days over here from Helsinki, Finland, and I want to remind you that this series is focused on short-term trade ideas, just short-term style thinking. If you're looking for more long-term analysis, definitely go check out the playlist titled Long-Term Analysis. Anyways, without wasting further time, because I know that your time is valuable, let's get into it right over here. And Bitcoin basically doing the same thing for the last half week, it looks like. There are a few things to point out, but at the end of the day, the narrative stands that as long as we're operating within the confines of this guy right here, this is what takes precedence. A break above your upper resistance, which would actually correlate with that Cyan 100 exponential right there at around 68.80, would likely initiate. Probably, I just wouldn't see much stopping you from this like low 7,000 range right over here, which would be the big descending triangle that we've been working on for the last over 10 months now, official, right over here, which would also coincide, as you can see, with that red and purple 200 exponential and simple moving average. Now, by the same token, a descending triangle is inherently bearish. Doesn't mean it's always going to break out to the downside, but it's more likely. It's certainly more likely, and the fact that we're this fucking full within it means that it's incredibly likely. And we can actually look at a few things during this video that do suggest that we are in for some heavy movement pretty damn soon. But let's kind of plot out the lower time frames first things first. So we got this resistance right here. I think that one's pretty obvious. I think we got this guy right here. That one's pretty obvious. Our upper resistance. That's kind of coinciding with our descending triangle resistance. So I really like that as well for good confluence. Now we have to go into the 4 hour to kind of plot out a few more things and get onto the right guy over here. There we go. We got horizontal right here to about 65.50. If that area breaks, I don't see much stopping you from about 64.50. If that area breaks, you have 63.50-ish area. And you'll notice that, yes, this is in the formation of what looks like a bear flag. Again, just another kind of thing pointing in the direction of probably likely to break to the downside. But again, until we actually get a break one way or the other, just all mental masturbation. It's fun to do, but at the end of the day, the real breakout's a better one, right? Anyways, you will notice that on a little bit of higher time frame over here, we have a very orderly drop-off in volume to kind of accompany that explanation of, hey, we're consolidating in a typically bearish formation, especially, you know, when you have like a rising channel-esque type thing like this. Volume is just falling off in a very orderly fashion. So check one, check two. I like that. Do we want to make a measure move on this baby? Well, let's fucking do it anyways, because why not? Makes it fun. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. At the end of the day, I need to see 6150 broken with force before any like significant area, before any significant new lower lows are kind of initiated. But if we were to break and resolve that bear flag formation to the downside, let's put it on daily over here to see better. Technically speaking, it would initiate a measure move somewhere down around here. Again, it's just because you have a measure move does not mean you have to go there one to one. You can see that I don't even have it straight. God damn it, Crown. Oh, you motherfucker. So bad. Anyways, again, 6150 though is kind of like my big bad last Mohican support. As long as you got that guy, I don't want to be too damn bearish, meaning looking for new lower lows. And by the same token, you know, any pattern can break out any which way. And as I almost said Richard Brandt, but Peter Brandt said, hey, you do have a compound Fulcrum over here, which is a very rare thing and something that you probably will very rarely even hear of. It doesn't happen often, so that's why I'm not too excited about it, but it does look like it could be one. If that were to be initiated as a reversal pattern, meaning as a bottoming pattern, by the way, because it is only a bottoming pattern, that would coincide with a break above this guy right here, which will also coincide with a higher high over this guy right here, which would be a first higher high in the last over 10 months now, and that would be pretty damn important. So again, lower time frame is pretty damn clear. Pretty damn clear over here. What are our indicators saying? Indicators are not really telling us too much. RSI is just consolidating between bearish and bullish zone, which is completely neutral to me. Quite literally in the neutral zone right now. Stochastics aren't really telling us too much either. Again, more neutral than anything. If I wanted to put an opinion on that, it's I don't think it's worth it, really. I would like to check on the 3-hour stochastics. Yes, we did get across the upside on the 3-hour stochastics, so fair enough. I typically do put a lot of weight on this, but when you do cross in the middle of the range, as we just saw, it can kind of float around and snake around and cross multiple times. I really am more interested in the crosses that happen at the more extreme zones, but that is worth pointing out. What about 8-hour right here? Yeah, 8-hour, my 8-hour proprietary Fibonacci over here, which, by the way, is live now. If you definitely want to go check it out, the link is in the description of this video. Just always want to remind people of that. But this guy over here is telling us that we're losing a little bit of momentum in the way that I read it. You are coming into a little bit of resistance where we currently are, also evidenced by the proprietary stochastic over here. But more than anything, I mean, like, that's a very, very specific way of reading them. More than anything, I look at this as completely neutral. And I'm just kind of letting my bias of like the higher time frames, formations over here kind of show. Speaking of higher time frames, we do want to check out the 2-day dildo time frame because this is pretty damn important. We've closed now 2 dildos officially below the yellow 21 exponential. If you're in the technical analysis program, you already know what I'm thinking about that. Your blue 30-something moving average is still a slope to the downside. You got the death cross right here, and that it just doesn't, I mean, it looks kind of nasty, maybe, to be quite honest. 3-day same sort of thing. Sorry, yeah, 3-day right here. 3-day same sort of thing. We've closed a couple of dildos below, or sorry, 3 dildos now below the 21 exponential. This one over here kind of finding resistance at the 21 at 6,700-ish. Not quite able to get all the way there, but close enough is close enough. I count that as a test. And if we were to, your 3-day dildo time frame is saying, hey, you got your support right around here, right around 6,300 even, this purple 200 exponential. But again, I really don't like things that come back down to base on their supports. It just typically leads to new lower lows, in my experience. What else do we have to look at? What about the 12-hour? What did they do overnight? 12-hour had a good close, kind of, in a way, I guess. If I again, really splitting hairs over here. At the end of the day, very little to kind of be updating on, to be quite honest. To be honest, guys, and this is something that I think is very, very much worth talking about. I have not taken a trade in since like two and a half days ago, and that's a reality situation. A lot of the times there's not a fucking trade to be taken. I don't even want to scalp this range right here. It's not big enough. It's not big enough for me to be really interested in. But hey, you did have a nice hammer total close on a 12-hour right here. Volume's not too great, so I mean, it's just to me, it's just more neutral consolidation is what it really is. But I'm sure there's someone out there in the Twitter sphere, in the trading views here, saying, guys, hammer dildo, we're going to fucking the moon today. By the way, Bactus around the corner. No one's going to be selling their coins anymore. Bactus around the corner. It's like, yeah, and then you read something like this, a little bit of news coming into the market. Puerto Rico's Noble Bank seeks sale amid crypto slide. This is the bank that had, financial relations with with Tether and Bitfinex. So it is a little bit interesting that they're coming under a little bit of pressure, a little bit of news coming into the market. This is relatively new, 4 a.m. My time, so that was about 5 hours ago, so actually not that new. But fair enough. Might want to go check this one out. This is on Bloomberg, so that is one of the sources that I would actually say, all right, they might actually know their shit. they actually try. Okay, so down into the 1 hour over here. Do we have anything to say over here? I mean, if stochastics are crossing down, but again, more, it looks like you're about to initiate a sell signal right here pretty soon, but this is not really the sell signal that I'm looking for when I'm using this proprietary stochastic down here. That would be a very aggressive one to take, although it does look like it kind of wants to again, making, really trying to make a mountain of a molehill, or whatever the fuck that saying is. Let's go check out Mr. Ripples over here, Ripple Me Timbers, and Ripple Me Timbers has, whoa, okay, so big bearish divergence on the daily right here. This is what I'm looking for. Putting in a Jesus Christ dildo right here, low volume, but still hanging above your 200 simple and 200 exponential. These purple and red lines right around here. Stochastic still opened in upwards, but looked like they might be losing a little bit of momentum. and not too much else to say as far as Mr. Ripples goes. As long as you're above 48.5 cents, don't really have too many negative things to say about it. And as long as you're below 67 cents, I don't really have like a full-on breakout to be looking at by the same token. Maybe if we go down to like the 4-hour, we'll be able to see some. Yeah, you did have this. It was kind of looking like a potential ascending triangle as of yesterday, but breaking that as the swell conference started, and it looks like we are using that form of support as resistance. So it could very well sell down, but again, I don't want to be bearish on something as long as it's above this guy right here, and even more so as long as it's above about 37.5 cents. I think a lot of people just want to be bearish on Ripple because it's the banker's coin, which doesn't even make any sense. It's like, what? But like, weird crypto people own it too, How's it the fucking banker's coin when every goddamn basement dweller has some too? Sorry, you can't fucking say that on the internet. I apologize about that. But hey, going over here, yeah, 8-hour. 8 hours not really telling us anything special. Does look like it kind of wants to consolidate a little bit lower, but again, I'm not necessarily bearish on this unless you break like about 37 cents. You break that area, and I'd be looking for new lows. But as long as you're above there, I think that you're going to try to consolidate a little bit and then make another try at your former resistance. Overall, Ripple certainly one of the better charts in this whole market, but it is losing it a little bit. But you'd imagine, you're probably going to consolidate a little bit lower if you have a nice big, 150% rally like this. Certainly not out of the question. Let's go check out. There's a couple more big interesting things to actually be aware of. I want to go check out on GBTC. GBTC, and what I look at as typically a leading indicator for Bitcoin, closing the day on its lows, it looks like, or near its lows, and breaking my broadening wedge to the downside. I have a couple of different ideas on this one. Maybe this does kind of morph into some sort of a very, very large falling channel. I think that this is I guess this would be a falling wedge, falling pizza over here. I guess that this would be the more bullish view of looking at it, but I don't see much holding up from this guy right here at around $7.32. By the same token, I don't know if I want to call this falling wedge. It actually does have the right characteristics of one though. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. There we go. But if you do break this guy right here, $6.90, which is 69, just with a decimal in there, which is really cool, then yeah, you're gonna run into some big problems, because that would kind of negate this whole idea. By the same token, just a very bearish chart overall. Yes, I know people are talking about the bullish divergence down here, but I want to see like a stopping point first. I think you might have already actually played it out on this rally over here, and it got sold into. Bitcoin coming under a little bit of pressure right now. It's $10 from when we last looked at it. Oh my god. And you can see that this range is so damn tight. It's like, this looks like a decent move, but it's really, it's like 20 fucking bucks. So yeah. Okay, let's go check out Mr. Buterin. I do want to check out Mr. Buterin before we go. 229.95 cents it looks like on Finex. Mr. Buterin is interesting to me because you basically got what looked like a rising wedge that you broke down from right here, and then you formed basically a rising channel after that. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And that's kind of how these things morph around a lot of the time, and this is why it's not really appropriate to get like extremely, breakout move happy when you break something like that, just because it's a fucking rising wedge. I hate wedges of all kinds and shapes. They're just awful. They're just absolutely awful. So yeah, if you do break this area right here, which you are flirting around on, you don't want to fuck around this area too long, then you will kind of break this rising channel to the downside. Do I want to call this a bear flag? Actually, technically it is a bear flag. I don't want to make a measure move off of it, although I did, just to kind of show what it would be. And it is interesting because it does point you down to about the low 100th area, which does line up with a nice horizontal down here. So I do like that for good confluence. But again, kind of still closing deals above the 21 exponential over here. I don't necessarily want to get bearish on this. I've seen some people call this a head and shoulders formation right here. I don't see it, and I really don't like interpreting things before they have a neckline. And yes, I am bearish on the market, but I think that there's like, you got to draw a line where it's like, all right, well, things like have to like I'm happy to be bullish if I see bullish behavior, but if you break this area right here, then yeah, maybe. But again, I don't like seeing diagonals that intense. Maybe this is a broadening wedge as it currently stands. Possible, very, very possible. But it's not my first interpretation of this chart. If you did make a measure move on that, that puts you probably somewhere back down to your former lows, I'd imagine, if just eyeballing it. But yeah, you know, as long as it's above 226, fine, it's fine. Or 225 and a half. As long as it's closing like higher level deltas above 225 and a half, it's more than it's more or less okay. I mean, it could pick itself up, but it could also be a symmetrical triangle, something like this. Very, very possible as well, which is like equal opportunity. It's like the social justice warriors of fucking chart patterns. It's like you can go up or down, and we won't call it till it happens. And it's getting pretty damn full as well, so I would be looking for a major break pretty damn soon. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for Bitcoin and the crypto market in general. There we got we got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum, we got Ripples. I want to look at one more thing with Bitcoin just really, really quick. I'm going to take off my fib down here, and I'm going to put on my BBWs, because my BBWs need some love too. That's right. They all need some loves, and this is just your Bollinger Band widths down here. And it basically tells us, like, you know, if it's really, really high, then you're probably going to go into some consolidation. If it's really, really low, you're probably going to go into a major fucking breakout. And as you can see, this is one of the lowest it's been ever since over here, which was literally, you know, December of 2016, right? That's like years ago. If we go to the 2-day, it's going to be even, yeah, well, it's actually pretty damn analogous. Weekly, same sort of thing as well, 2016. And you can see that it really doesn't like to stay in this range for too long. So it is insinuating that we do likely have a big move on the horizon. Oh, I would like to also, sorry, I always get a little bit carried away, but just the daily rounds of the accumulation distribution indicator before we go as well. Let's go down to the daily. What's he doing? Daily is really sloped down. Now this is concerning right here. This is concerning. I did not see this. Yesterday it was sloped up, and I remember I said, hey guys, you know, yes, it is sloped up, but when you come off of like a very violent move like this, a very acute move like this, I actually get a little bit apprehensive, and this is why this can happen right here. That's not good. 2-day still sloped up, so not bad. 3-day, same sort of thing as that we just saw on the daily. And the weekly, we probably don't have enough history on this one. Oh yeah, we do. On Bitstamp, yeah, it is certainly sloped to the downside, but not super aggressively. And of course the monthly, which we just started, is now ticking red. So let's get this guy off here. All right, and back now over here, and we'll just wrap it up one more time. Again, Bitcoin in the lower time frames right here. Let's go to a 4-hour. This is kind of the range that I'm seeing right here. You know, you're literally right in the middle of the range. 65.50 your next support, 66.50 your next resistance-ish area. Actually, let's just adjust this down, 66.50 right here. Your next big resistance above there is you know, 68.50. If you can get above there, you know, then I start to get a little bit interested in a little bit of upside, a little bit of tradable upside. If you break 65.50, 64.50 is the next kind of area that I see. Below that, you got about 63.50, 6400-ish area. Below there, you don't want to even know. Well, no, it's not really. I mean, 61.50 is kind of like my doomsday scenario. So yeah, that's going to do it for this morning. I hope this video finds you well. As always, a nice short and sweet video, and I'll see you in a live stream near you soon. Take care.